Women in paid work in the UK earn on average 20% less per hour worked than men in work earn. Why is that? Well, one potential reason that's often put forward is the fact that, particularly after childbirth, women are more likely to take some time out of the labour market altogether, or if they carry on working, they're more likely to be working part-time rather than full-time. And it's possible that as a result of this, they build up less labour market experience and are able to command lower wages than men are as a result. So in this new piece of research, we look at how much of this gender wage gap you can actually explain by these differences in labour market experience versus other factors. So the fact that women tend to build up less labour market experience, especially after childbirth, does contribute to the widening of the gender wage gap over people's lifetimes. But it actually doesn't explain everything. It explains overall just less than half of the gender wage gap. So there are clearly other factors at play too. Why do differences between men and women in the amount of labour market experience they build up affect the gender wage gap? Well, it's actually mostly not because women spend less time in work altogether. It's mostly because women spend more time in part-time work as opposed to full-time work. So to see why that can matter, imagine a female graduate who's been in full-time work for 7 years and then has a child. Now, if she continues in full-time work, we would expect on average for her to see further wage growth of 6% the following year. Whereas if she works part-time, she would on average see no wage progression at all. Well, a key challenge that this research throws up is to better understand why it is that people in part-time work see such little wage growth relative to people in full-time work. It could be that they get less training than full-time workers. It could be that they're in the kinds of jobs that just involve less accumulation of skill over time. Or it could be that they're missing out on informal networking opportunities and promotions. Whatever the reason, this lack of wage growth for people in part-time work is explaining quite a large chunk of the gender wage gap.